Hello friends, and I welcome you into another video about Jyotish astrology. But before we dive into the Jyotish, let's discuss first some important premises. And the first one and the most important one is that any theory represents only the single facet of multi-dimensional reality. So what does it mean? It means that truth cannot be described in words. We can only discuss the concepts, and the concepts themselves are relative. Every concept in science and in philosophy is based on some premises which cannot be proved, but nevertheless they find themselves devoted followers. So every generation scientists are only doing that, elevating one theory and destroying another one, but only after every battle for truth, the only truth remains is that any theory is only a single facet of multi-dimensional reality. So in this case, we may ask the question, why at all we do this, why we study this, and right, why do we discuss this at all? So what's the point? One of the answers to this question may be the expansion of consciousness. For example, the goal of philosophy and also Tantra is the expansion of consciousness. So also in many traditions of wisdom, be it Vedic tradition, Buddhism, it was pointed out, also Plato, the Greek philosophy, so it was pointed out that many of our problems arise from the simple fact of ignorance. So this is the point of the discussion. We are not able to describe the ultimate truth in words, and we are not able to describe the position of ultimate reality, but we only can have the negation of it. But studying various models, concepts, we are able also to understand what works for us and what is not, and what is useful and what is not. And in fact, embracing these paradoxes of the reality, it is the only way to unity, to the wholeness, and also to understanding and accepting the reality. Every theory works because it has the right for the existence, and every concept of fate also works in the same way. So if you believe that the fate is something predetermined, then you give your fate into the hands of various kinds of fortune tellers, soothsayers, astrologers, and so on. and you are the paper boat which is drifting on the currents and waves. And if you believe that the fate is something that need to be fought for, so this will also be the case, and you start to fighting with the same waves and navigating against the current. And your choice is always manifested because you're always right. So whatever you choose, you are always right, and your choice is manifested, and others will be arguing with you because they are also right. Scientists have also approached the paradoxical side of the reality or non-dualism through the quantum physics. So, in fact, every science is built upon describing some phenomena, and upon describing this phenomena, a whole system of knowledge is built. And during our history of humankind, we built many such systems or models, which are also contradictory to one another, but nevertheless, internally, they work, right? Quantum physics is based on few postulates which cannot be proved, and they exactly called the postulates because they cannot be proved. So in one case, object of microworld behaves like a particle, and in another case it behaves like a wave. So postulates of quantum physics, they actually reconciliate many sciences. So physicists, they were not be able to interpret this dualism, and they just took this for granted and called this the postulates of the quantum physics. So that's why these postulates, they reconciliate many adepts of all other various sciences, right? So it is like if this blind man would agree that in some case elephant behaves like a snake, and in some cases it behaves like a pillar. If we describe the object of microworld as a particle, we will have a model of an atom which Niels Bohr created, where electrons orbit the nucleus, so much like as our solar system. But if we describe the object of the microworld as a wave, we will have an atom as the superposition of the waves. So it does not matter. First of all, we need to understand. So every model is just model, and it's not the description of the ultimate reality. Our problems come also from the fact that we confuse the models with reality. So, for example, mathematicians, the specialists in analytical geometry, they do not argue with the specialist in algebra that their disciplines is better. But philosophers and spiritual practitioners and teachers, they usually could not agree, right? Buddha 2000 years ago was saying exactly the same things that the quantum physics is discovering right now, only in different words. So he was saying that the matter, there is no matter, so the matter at the end is the void. So at the end there is only a void, and if we take this and relate to our discussion about the concepts, this also means that every phenomenon in itself is it is a void. I would not say it is useless, but it's like an empty. It is a void. It only like our language also. It only has some relation when we are starting to connect it with some other phenomenons, and we can elaborate things in one way or another way, or manifest things in one direction or another direction. We tend to argue about the concepts, trying to prove which point of view is more right, which point of view is better, but we usually miss this very important fact about the multivariance and multifacetedness of the reality. In fact, multivariance of the reality is the first starting point, and every starting point of every science is secondary, but we usually miss this fact. So we might think, and what information we can extract from this fact? In fact, a lot. When we study various models and concepts, we can derive the certain laws according to which the world functions. But from where do they come from? Where are they stored? Our world is movement of space and time, which different sciences describe. We know that points on the graph located according to a certain mathematical formula. And we can say that movement of a point through a graph is the formula of a function. But it is highly unlikely that nature keeps these formulas somewhere. The formula itself is the invention of the human mind to facilitate the understanding on how the reality works. So how else can we store the points of the graph? Of course, in the form of infinite field of the coordinate points. Our human memory is limited, but for the nature, infinity is not the problem. Nature has no need to generalize the movement of the point through the graph into some kind of a formula. Instead, if we divide a line into the infinitely small points, where every point is a cause and the next one as an effect, and so on, we can see the movement of the material point through space and time as the infinitely long line of infinitely small chains of the cause and effects. At the end of 20th century, the quantum physics proposed a model of holographic reality. And this model explains why it was so difficult to reconcile the general relativity and quantum mechanics. So this model offers a new, unique view on the space and time. And according to the model of the holographic universe, the information is primary, and the matter and time itself are secondary. So the general relativity tells us that the time and space are the illusion. In other words, we can say that time and space, they are not the ultimate reality, but our conditioned perception of third dimensional reality. But the ultimate reality is not third dimensional. And because again, according to the physics, these models work only if we start adding the more and more dimensions. So knowing all this, that the information is primary and time and matter are secondary, and in fact they could be merely illusion, they can come to the conclusion that everything has been, is, and will be. And if you are familiar, for example, with Islam religion, you maybe have heard that the fate or destiny is written in a book. And the only mistake that various religions make, is that there are multitude of various destinies. There are various destinies or fates which every individual can have. They are all written, but there are many of them. So in the Vedic worldview, this space, or space is not a correct word, the field of the possibilities, the infinite field of possibilities, is called Akasha, which is translated as ether. And Akasha is the first manifestation of primordial goddess Shakti. And Shakti is the energy which animates everything, so every matter, everything visible and maybe invisible. So this is the primordial energy from which all the world consists. And Chinese call it Qi or Qi, and quantum physics agrees that the energy is primal and the matter is secondary. So this infinite field of possibilities contains all the variations of any event which may happen. Our mind cannot communicate with the field of possibilities because in general it likes the stability and afraid of the unknown. So it tends to what is known and what is understood. It can create only from the known bricks and cannot create something principally new which does not exist in our physical world. So our mind cannot communicate with field of possibilities, but our soul can. And the language of the soul is the feelings and the symbols. Through the glimpse of the inside, we can see the uncharted sectors of the Akasha and extract from there something principally new, such as innovation, piece of art, or like understanding of ourselves and general direction where we want to move in our life. So Plato called this eidos, eidoses, and Carl Jung called this collective unconsciousness. But again, you must understand this is only a model, however good it may be. Also, in fact, any innovator, artist who created something new, which changed our world, changed the humanity, or like a beautiful masterpiece of the art, which many people have admired. So this person didn't create it through the mind or the technique alone. In fact, he or she did it through the inspiration, insight, or what we call revelation. So as we said, the symbols is one of the languages of the soul. And if we take, for example, dream work as the communication with our psyche, with our soul, then the symbols which we extract from this dream would have many meanings. And the most important meaning, the most important interpretation of these symbols would be what it has to you, because this is your dream and you are the center of this universe. And the same thing actually would be also with the Jyotish, with interpreting the symbolism of the Jyotish. So let's dive into the Jyotish chart, and I will explain to you on my own chart some examples how it can be interpreted. Okay, friends, now I'm gonna share my screen. And I'm going to explain, to give you some examples how we can interpret the Jyotish chart. So Carl Jung said that there are myriads of archetypes which unite in the myriads of way, and this which forms our individual psyche, our individual personality. But there are a certain, let's say, the most common archetypes which we can trace in every mythological tradition, right? So in Jyotish, it was also formed very through many thousand years, was formed very particular tradition and description of these archetypes, which are actually also very much related to our Western tradition. But I would say it is more deep and more profound, but nevertheless we can also draw the wisdom about the interpretation from the various traditions of knowledge. So, for example, we have the sage or wise man archetype, and we can call this Jupiter, right? And we know Mercury, who is fast, and relentless messenger of gods. We know the strict and ascetic Saturn. We know the beautiful Venus. We know the Mars or Aries, the god of war. And we know Moon, which is Chandra in Vedic tradition, who is responsible for our emotions. So in Vedic tradition it is very clearly said that every graha is a planet, is the deity, so it's the character with various set of functions. So in Vedic tradition we can it clearly said, and we can refer to every graha as the person. And in the same way we can see that our psyche, because what you can see right now is the map of your psyche, right? So your psyche is the area inhabited with various personalities. So we tend to think about ourselves as the one individual, but actually there are many. And our problems arise because we cannot reconcile all these personalities. And we cannot reconcile them because they operate from the unconscious. So what does it mean? When we try to take a decision by facts or logic, we usually caught up in a tremendous battle of the forces we cannot understand. So we can feel that there is battle, but we cannot understand who is fighting for what, because this every personality has its own values, its own desires, view on life, and so on. And we cannot make peace, we cannot reconcile them because first of all we think that we are one, right? Like logically. So we present some mask to the society because persona translated a mask from Greek. So we presented this persona to the society and we think that this is we, right? This is I. But in fact there are many of characters, the centers of psyche, again with distinct values, and so on. So and this is it's not I'm telling you this, it's not like something let's say coming traditionally from the Jyotish book or whatever. This is what Carl Jung was described. So the first thing is to understand that there are many centers of our psyche, what we call like many personalities, what we call in psychology sub-personalities. And once we understand this, we already moving a step forward towards the reconciliation. So we are moving, we are projecting, not projecting, we are okay, let's say projecting, because projection, in psychology is like another term. So we are putting the light of consciousness into our unconsciousness, and this is like the first step toward wholeness. So there are many ways of communication with our psyche, with these subpersonalities. Again, as I said, it could be a dream work, it could be any form of deep meditation, it could be a walk in the park where you have insight. and Jyotish is just another way of putting the light towards your unconsciousness. Okay, so we understood that we are not one, but we are many. And okay, so to also remove some ambiguity, every spiritual tradition says that everything comes from one source, right? Duality is actually the capacity of the human mind to experience the reality, but the duality is not the again the ultimate reality, but our own function of our mind. Every tradition says that all comes from one, all comes from unity, but our way to unity is through a work. So many would try to skip this maybe not work, it's maybe not the right through a life. So many would try to skip this step, not the step, but journey towards the unity. They try to go reverse, right? So we understand conceptually that everything is one, and we are trying to move back and avoid all the suffering, all the conflicts, just come back, to the source, from where we had come, and unite with it, and that's it. So what do I mean by that, actually? Maybe it's not that clear, but what I mean that we cannot go reverse, right? We know that from the Bible we have been expelled from the paradise, so we eat this fruit of knowledge to understand the good and evil, and this is our way, of living in this world. So we choose the duality so we separate ourselves from the world, and this is our way to understand and experience the world, So we divide ourselves from the world. This is I, this is the world, and this is how we learn and how we get the experience. But at the end, again, what saying Carl Jung and every tradition saying, by enlightenment, by samadhi, by revelation, we come to a unity, a wholeness. But the way to wholeness is not the going back, to the animal life, because animal in general, I cannot say about all the animals, but in general we can say that they live in unconscious world, and our gift is a consciousness, right? So nature created a consciousness to reflect upon itself. So we came from nature, and we can experience and understand the nature. And we cannot so some try to remove this gift, remove this gift of consciousness, take it away from me. I want to come back. I want, I don't want any conflict. I don't want any suffering, but this is the way of evolution, going forward, going upward, and not backward. So, and as it has been pointed out, by Carl Jung and by rishis who created Jyotish astrology. So there is a way, and I think this is our way as the humanity is going forward. And the way is through embracing these conflicts and embracing these paradoxes of reality and embracing them. Eventually we understand ourselves and we understand the world, that the world is actually is not black and white and is not good and bad, but the world is complex. And we, as we are mirroring the as microcosm, as we mirroring the microcosm, we also understand that we are also complex. And through embracing these conflicts, embracing this paradox, we at some point actually come to wholeness, or as Carl Jung called this, individuation, or as Jyotish astrology calls this dharma, or dharma, or your purpose. So, coming back to my chart, why I was saying this? So everything comes from one. We are all one. Was about the one. But at the same time, we understand that we are all unique. So take our body. There is no two completely similar human beings. We are all unique. You know, our bodies are very unique. And in the same way, our psyche is also very unique. And in fact, if we embracing our individuality, we have more resources, more capacity to to love the world and care about the world. Because we understand that we are a drop in the ocean, but if you're only drop in the ocean, there is no, some kind of meaningless, like in life. But understanding our uniqueness, we can bring the creative energy into the mosaic, into all this picture of the creation, because we are the drops, but every drops brings this creative energy, and we co-create together actually. Okay, so coming back to the chart, we understood that we are all one, but at the same time we are all tremendously unique. And this chart is first thing what it's doing, it helps you to to pour the light on your subpersonalities. So what we have in every chart has 9 grahas, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Sorry, 1, 2. Because there is 3. 1 is hidden. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So in Jyotish, every chart has 9 grahas. So we call them personalities, right? But here is also very important and very unique thing to the Jyotish astrology, and in fact this is the characteristics, let's say, not characteristic, this is one of the main things upon which the Jyotish is built. These grahas, these personalities, they can connect with each other in also many ways, many different ways. And this what is called yogas. Okay. I am using this program first time, and I don't know how to delete here what I will do again. So what we call yoga, we have here fourth house. This is yoga of Moon and Rahu. This is yoga of Jupiter, Sun, and this is yoga of Venus, Mars, and Mercury, right? So we have different yogas, and when the grahas are connected in this way, we are not interpreting them separately but together. So what does it mean? Another thing what I wanted to tell, like in the context of this video, is that when we interpreting this chart, like when I was saying, so when we interpret your dream, the foremost the meaning is that what meaning it has for you. So, and in the same logic, we also not the meaning, but close logic applies to the chart. So, for example, we need to why we're doing the rectification of the natal chart. For example, I have 3 planets in the 12th house. So, and this should be manifested somehow in my life. So if I do rectification for myself, I would be asking questions like what I did until like I'm 34 now. So what I have been doing until 34. And 12th house is the house of like immigration, isolation, distant land, and so on. And I spent like 11 years, 12 years working at sea. So, and we see the 3 planets in the 12th house. And obviously we can say that it was somehow manifested in my life. So, and like asking another questions, because we cannot make rectification on one position only. So we come, let's say, to conclusions that this is my chart. But then we start interpreting the chart. So we can, because what I have said, that working at sea, this is what like very basic manifestation. And why we are like why we are studying astrology, because we all want some kind of deeper meaning in life. And we have like 3 planets here, right? So we have Venus, and we have Mars, we have Mercury, and they all form different yogas, different creative yogas. If we start interpreting this chart, we can see that there are 3 planets in the 12th house: Venus, Mars, and Mercury, and they together form different yogas. So Venus and Mars is the yoga of designer, Mars and Mercury is the yoga of technology, and Mercury and Venus is the yoga of innovation. So many creative positions, right? And also Mars in the 12th house likes the some kinds of adventures, hikings, and so on. Then we have Jupiter, and let's choose another color. We have Jupiter and Sun here in 11th house. 11th house is the house of social fame, and Jupiter is the planet of knowledge. Sun is our ambitions, our ego. So such person should share the knowledge is in some way. It is what I'm doing right now. But also Jupiter and Sun is also the yoga which presumes of building of some community or the school or some structure for learning, you know. And okay, I also want to explain this one and explain this all together. So fourth house is the house of the tribe, of the community, of the family, and the moon is the planet of emotion, inspiration, happiness, mother. And there are also the way to form yogas, not only then the planets are combined in one house, but there are many ways. So for example, here moon is located in Sagittarius, and it's ruled by Jupiter, because Sagittarius belongs to Jupiter. And Jupiter is in exaltation in the sign of Cancer, and the Cancer is ruled by moon. So this is so-called Parivartana Yoga. So here is also formed a yoga between 4th house and 11th house and the moon and Jupiter. So it should be some kind of the community, spiritual, artistic, psychological, related to knowledge, to study, different kind of knowledge, because again we can interpret this in many different ways, right? We need to look to another positions. And we have here philosophy, spirituality, because 12th house, but also it could be distant lands, you know, traveling. And because I also have the connection of 12th house and the 9th house by by Venus. Oops. Venus is ruling, I don't have, I have purple here. So Venus ruling the 9th house. And 12th and the 9th house is the yoga of the wanderer. So that means that person, you know, like is not staying on the one place and moving, you know, across the places. So I have the immigration, I have wandering, but I have also the 4th house, the house of actual home, you know. And these are the conflicts I was telling about. So it is hard to, you know, because at first I was like, you know, like fuck it, I will go traveling and will believe as gypsy, you know. So I'm speaking about like this position in the 12th house. But it didn't work out. Part of me was happy, part of me was suffering. So it is not a simple reconciliation of, you know, like having a home and also traveling, living, you know, on the road. But we, you know, have these positions for a reason, for a purpose, you know. And through challenge, we actually learn and understand ourselves. So what it could be, you know, like if we speak about the purpose of such a person. As you know, like I'm creating this community at Karma Station, and you know, actually one of my biggest dream when I met Sasha, it was like, you know, studying together this kind of things, the philosophy, the Jyotish, Ayurveda, yoga, and you know, traveling together. And we see like traveling here but this is also like our dream, like to create the community and travel, with this community. And not only travel, because if, as I said, if it's only travel, it didn't work out. So what we were dreaming about is, going to India and study there together, and the Ayurveda philosophy and these kind of things. So we are moving towards this direction. So we can see here a community, a tribe. You can see the knowledge, and this is the tribe and the knowledge. They are interconnected. So as the traveling, exploration of the world, exploration of the philosophy. So this is it, I think, for this video. Again, this is like very basic explanation, but I think this is enough to grasp the idea. So because we are not interpreting like Venus in 12th house, this is this, and Jupiter in the Cancer, this is that. We are looking upon these interconnections and understand the picture of our psyche as a whole. And as a whole, we can understand ourselves, that we are not a single dimensioned personalities, but are actually multi-dimensioned, so as our reality. And the last question I want to propose to you. So in this multi-variational and multi-dimensional reality, with the infinite field of possibilities, how the fuck you can forecast anything at all? Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.